What's up, Metal Summoners? How are you guys doing today? Sorry about that, but let's rock.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. No worries. All the more intros, all the more fun. It is M3 week.
Yeah.
We are super duper stoked about that. All of us collectively are big M3 people. We are super duper having a good time rocking out. Metal Summoners, we appreciate you guys. Super stoked that you've supported the show and that you tune in every week and show guests, just like our guests tonight, all the love and all the support for all of their various ventures. You're back on your Island Misfit Toys. We've got Angel, we've got myself, and we're going to jump right into it with Golden Robots recording artist Andy Henson. First and foremost, brother, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the Metal Summit. We appreciate your time.
Thank you guys. This is awesome, man. I watch you guys show all the time, man. It's cool. You guys had Corey Glover on here from Living Color last year sometime, and I typed in about CM Punk because he uses their music for Cult of Personality. That's pretty crazy sitting there talking to Vernon Reed. That was pretty slick, and now I'm on your show, so I appreciate it. You guys are great.
No, of course, man. Well, first and foremost, man, it is M3 week. You've said that you're an M3 guy and that you're going to be coming to the show, coming to the event.
Yeah, we're going Saturday.
Saturday?
Forward to it, yeah. Queensryche, because Queensryche's been my favorite since I was a teenager. So
nice. Yeah, that's a good one. We got Queensryche, we got Piercy, we've got Van Halen to kick it off. So that'll definitely be a cool one there. It's and then I believe we've got Quiet Riot that day also, and I think Y&T, but Doro's on Saturday. That's right. And I think I think Y&T is on Sunday.
Yeah, Doro and Lynch Mob and Last in Line with Vivian Campbell. So
oh yeah, for sure. And this is and we're coming towards the end. I mean, of course, George is going to continue on, but there's been a lot of talk that we're not going to get as many like actual Lynch Mob shows. So definitely going to be looking forward to getting to see Lynch Mob one more time for sure.
Looking forward to that, man.
Yeah, man. So let's jump right into it, man. So first and foremost, congratulations is very much in order. I mean, dude, Golden Robots Records. I mean, you and I have talked off the air. And speaking of M3, the late great Stephen Riley, was a Golden Robots recording artist because they do have Riley's LA Guns on their roster, as long as a bunch of other amazing bands. But how did you get involved with them? Because, of course, you and I go back to Last Night's Villains with a lot of Brad Lee's events and stuff like that. And now you've got, your solo project going on. So how does Golden Robots fit into that picture?
Oh, man, it's all happened incredibly fast. LNV broke up back at the end of August, and for lots of different reasons we won't get into. But I had a game plan for the whole time, and I just stuck with that. Had a couple of other buddies, Mr. Jonathan May from a band called A Day in Pompeii. Check them out. And Mr. Dean Michaels from the band Novarium. Two excellent bands. They helped me get the recording done of the one song, Old Friend, that I've had for a while. I've got a whole list of songs that I've wanted to get recorded for about a couple of years. Just couldn't get things going. So we just started rolling with that. We recorded Old Friend. Jonathan did the engineering. He played bass and drums on the track. And then I sent it off. We sent the tracks off to Dean Michaels, and he did some extra guitar and some backup vocals. He did the mixing and the mastering. And then there's just a few labels. I actually released it myself. I did a buddy of mine, Mr. Steven Smith. He goes by the name of Corgan Hammersmith on social media out there. He did the lyric video for me. And I released it myself through DistroKid. And then I was a couple of labels I was interested in. And my buddies, and you guys know the dudes in Streetlight Circus.
Yeah.
Really cool guys. I saw where they had gotten a deal with Golden Robot. So I contacted Golden Robot. I sent them the song and the video. And within a day, I was really surprised. They answered me back and they're like, wow, this song is great. We love the production, the song, the lyric video is intriguing. Would you be interested in working with us and getting a distribution deal? I thought it was a rib or something at first because, LNV, we had a great 6-year run.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of different interest from labels, but a lot of the deals that we got were the kind where they want you to give them like $2,000, $3,000, whatever. To me, that's not a record deal. It's just a PR company that you're paying to do the stuff. It was none of that with Golden Robot. They reached out to me and sent me the contract. I read it over, and That was it. And everything has just happened so fast. And I mean, it's really cool because, M3 this Saturday, Stephen Piercy, he's playing on Saturday.
Mhm.
I'm a label mate with Stephen Piercy because he's
Yeah.
on Golden Robot Records. And that's just
Absolutely.
crazy. Teenage me is super stoked.
No,
So,
absolutely, Andy, for sure. And actually, speaking of teenage you, because Angel and I are also very big on just overall strengthening the community, and we don't mind, bringing attention to people that are doing right by artists like yourselves or by the community. And again, speaking of teenage you, you're being played on a pretty long-standing, well-known radio station on Saturday, I believe,
oh yeah,
in Metal
talking
Shop.
about Metal Shop. Yeah, I mean that's unreal to me because in the '80s, every Friday night here in Lynchburg, we had a radio station called Z100, and I waited for Metal Shop every Friday. Charlie Kendall, Metal Shop, and reached out to him. I reached out to a lot of different people in the industry on Facebook, and Charlie Kendall answered me. And he's like, wow, I sent him the song too. And he's like, wow, this song's really cool. I dig it, man. And then after I told him I'd gotten signed with Golden Robot, he's like, all right. He got the ball rolling. And he contacted a guy named Chris Aiken. I watch his show on YouTube, Chris Aiken Presents. And he interviewed me. And that's going to be on Metal Shop this coming Saturday. And Eddie is going to, Charlie Kendall is going to feature me as the Fresh Metal segment on Metal Shop, which is, it's unreal, man. I mean, it's taken 30 years, but it's pretty awesome.
Right. And you did a recent very cool interview as well, because you've definitely been up in your press game, and Angel and I appreciate you so much for being down for the experience, of course, with what we do. But considering you've been in the music business for so long, various projects, singing, playing guitar, all that kind of stuff, to have that breakthrough finally, regardless of the age that it's attached to, has still got to feel just absolutely incredible.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's, I'm very driven anyway. All I've liked since I was a little kid is music and martial arts. And, the martial arts gives me discipline and drive. And I just don't give up. I'm going to be playing music, whether it's in a little bar or whatever. I figure I might as well try to accomplish great things. I don't mind playing covers. And this is no knock to the bands that just want to play covers. That's cool if that's what you want to do. But I do not just want to play covers. I want to write, record, create, release music. And if I have to throw some covers into the set, I will. But I want to get my music out there. If you're going to do it, get your stuff out there. Shoot, have big goals. Aim for them. Try to crush those goals. So.
For sure. Absolutely. Metal Summoners, I just want to let you guys know that we do have Andy on limited time tonight. We're going to have him for the area of about 45 minutes to an hour. So I just want to keep you guys in the loop on there to make sure that any questions, comments that you want to ask him, you definitely pump them in. And before that, we kick it over to Angel and let him take it away for a little bit. One more final question for me in this segment, Andy, is do you feel that there's benefit to having that breakthrough now at a later age, where like a few calendar days have gone by, where you've got experience, good or bad, as opposed to having that breakthrough when maybe you're like 24?
Oh yeah, because I mean, no matter what we think, we're all pretty stupid when we're young and do a lot of stupid stuff. So I did all the stuff, traveling with the bands and doing the touring and all that stuff and the partying and all that. And I'm glad all that's gone now. I'd rather play awesome shows, have my music played worldwide, and hang out with my beautiful wife and my awesome son. So if I was younger, I'd probably be doing a lot of stupid stuff. No need for that. So.
No, absolutely. But yeah, could you seen yourself back there, like doing like a label mates tour where it was Andy Henson out there with like LA Guns and Rat?
That would have been cool. I mean, one of my bands, we kind of hit after Nirvana, kind of crushed a lot of the 80s hard rock. So my band Aphasia, we got to open up for Typo Negative, and that was really awesome. So,
that's a huge one for me. I'm a huge Typo guy.
Yeah, me too. That was awesome. I used to work at a music store, a record store, back when we actually had record stores, and we had a magazine. The store was called the Record Exchange, and it was all around Virginia and North Carolina. I wrote the hard rock and metal column every month. I would do album reviews. So I would contact the labels and I would end up getting backstage passes.
Nice.
And Typo Negative was actually on tour opening for Queensryche. And I love Queensryche. I love Typo Negative. And it was very cool. They were in Hampton, Virginia. So I go down there, watch the show, hanging out backstage. The next night, Typo Negative had a day off from their tour with Queensryche, and my band Aphasia was opening for them. So I'm talking to Peter Steele backstage. You know, he's very sarcastic. He's very cool. But I was like, hey, man, dude, you know, I'm like 23, 24, whatever. I'm like, dude, my band is opening for you guys tomorrow night in Charlottesville. And he's like, I'm very sorry you have to play with my band tomorrow. I hope you do a good job. You know, because he's very droll and sarcastic.
Yep.
So that was a great memory. Yeah, that would be cool. So I don't know who we would have toured with, because we played with lots of different types of bands, because that was when the bands were more, you had your 80s bands playing, but you had your newer bands like, you know, Seven Dust kicking in, starting up and all. So it was a great time. So I like everything. I like the 80s stuff. I like the 90s stuff. I like all of it.
Oh, definitely. 100%. Angel, let's kick it over to you, my friend. Why don't you take it away?
I want to say, man, thank you for your time today. And, you know, definitely looking forward to seeing you at M3. Really hope I get to meet you, take a picture, all that fun stuff that fans like to do.
Cool, man. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
So, got a question from Brian. And, man, I hate to ask you this question. One musical catalog has to go. I'm doing my best Peter Steele impression. Elvis or Johnny Cash?
Elvis or Johnny Cash? Dude. Is this for me or for all three of us?
That's for you.
It's for you.
Okay.
I'm glad it's not for me.
Oh, gosh, man. I'm going to probably have to say Johnny Cash. I mean, because Elvis is more rock and roll. You know, I'm a rock and roller. So, yeah. All of Johnny Cash he seemed to be a rock and roller, but he went the country route. So I'm pretty sure one of those guys got the other one from the movies I saw. One of those guys got the other one hooked on speed. I don't know if Johnny Cash got Elvis hooked on speed or Elvis got Johnny Cash hooked on speed. If that's even true, that was in one of their movies. So
I feel like Johnny Cash would be the evil one in that equation, and for some reason, because again, you got to remember, Elvis was a martial arts guy too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, there's a part of that where I feel like he would have been less likely to like discover that on his own to get somebody else on it, as opposed to like having it kind of maybe thrust on him. So, you know, so nothing personal, Johnny, because I don't know which was which, but I'm more likely to blame you, Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Than I am to blame Elvis.
Oh yeah, we're not watching.
Lincoln Ketty wants to know, what age did you start playing the guitar and who influenced you?
Oh, sweet. Well, when I was a kid, I loved, of course, Ace Frehley. Ace Frehley was my dude, walk around playing air guitar like Ace, just like millions of other kids. And then King Edward. Eddie Van Halen is the man. My son, he's 5. His name is Halen. My wife actually let me name my son Halen after Eddie Van Halen. So that's really cool. I was into it, but really what got me into it at 15, I saw the Dokken video for In My Dreams. And the guitar solo, George Lynch does the cool tapping part. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, dude, I want to do that. And my mom had already shown me a few chords on an acoustic guitar laying around, and I got her to show me a few more, and that was it. So it was Ace and Eddie, and then really George Lynch is the reason. Like, I have a George Lynch Kamikaze, which is one of the guitar that he has in the In My Dreams video. Mm-hmm. I have an original ESP George Lynch Kamikaze from the 80s, and I've met George a few times, and it's autographed on the headstock and the body. So
nice.
Cool. Yeah.
That one does not go out on tour.
No. Not at all.
What do you like the most about being a musician?
The writing, recording, releasing songs, and performing at really cool shows. You know, at this stage of my life, I've been a professional musician. Like I said, I started guitar when I was 15, and I started playing out professionally when I was 17. So I played everything from little bars for like 2 people to, playing Blue Ridge Rock Festival in front of like 5,000 people, which was really cool. Just the performing, the travel. Like I've never been on long tours. I've done little mini tours and things throughout the years, but the travel is always hard. That's not cool. But being on stage, releasing your songs, having people sing your songs back to you is cool. Like if you're in a cover band, it's cool. And of course, people are going to sing those songs because they know them. They're popular songs. But when you've written a song, when you've worked hard, written it, recorded it, done everything, and put it out there, and when the crowd is singing your song, that's just awesome.
As a songwriter, what's your biggest insecurity as a songwriter?
Oh man, I don't really have any insecurities. It's like, first off, I'm a guitar player. Like I never wanted to sing. I've been in a couple of bands where I had a couple other guys. We would share the lead vocals, and that was really cool. The band just didn't work out, but the reason I end up singing is because most people say they can sing and they can't sing. So I just end up singing. But I wanted to be, again, George and Eddie. So when I write a song, I just start off with a riff. Every song I write has to have a cool riff. Doesn't have to be overly complicated. In the mid to late 90s, I went through a phase, my old band. We were into like Dream Theater. I was already into Queensryche. We were trying to make things as complicated. Like, we were into Queensryche, Dream Theater, and our drummer was into Meshuggah. So we're trying to do the most complicated stuff. And it's like when you're playing it for people, it's cool, but most people don't care. They just want to rock out. So
That's
I don't
true.
care if the riff is simple or, complicated. As long as it's a cool riff that's catchy, and every song I write is going to have a big catchy hook. So even if you don't like my song, you're going to walk around singing it because it's going to have a hook that sticks in your head like a worm. So
I'm going to go to this question from Kim. Then I'm going to go to Brian's question.
okay.
Man, these are some really good questions. Like I got to write these questions down for M3. Here's an awesome question. If you only able to listen to one song again for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Kim, if I'm correct, her son is one of my students. So thank you, Kim. Oh gosh, I don't know. One song.
That's an awesome question. I'm glad I don't have to answer it.
Wow, that is tough.
Damn.
Man.
Yeah, like one song for the rest of your life.
Whew. Oh my gosh, man, that is just really tough. It would be a toss-up. I mean, my favorites are like Queensryche, Dokken, Iron Maiden. Those are my favorite bands. Oh man, I don't know.
Take your time. We got 25 minutes.
That's right. I mean, it'll probably change in a minute. I'll say "Walk in the Shadows" by Queensryche.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's got cool guitars, great hooks, great vocals.
That's such a hard question.
Oh yeah.
If I'm gonna be aggressively put on the spot, it's probably gonna be Lost Boys by the 69 Eyes.
Yep.
Because it literally ties in my three favorite things, which is rock and roll music, vampires, and horror movies. Like I kind of get it all in one shot.
Yep.
So if you're gonna force me to give an answer like right this second, it's gonna be that one. But I wouldn't want to spend too much time on that question because I feel like my brain would melt and explode.
I actually listened to that on the way to the dojo this evening. I have a 69 Eyes playlist on my phone, so I dig those guys a lot.
As you should.
Oh yeah.
Let's go from music to boxing.
Uh-oh.
Brian wants to know Prime Royce and Renson step in the ring. Who wins?
All right. Now, I know you guys don't know anything about jiu-jitsu. He's talking about, in Portuguese, R is pronounced H. So it's Royce Gracie and Renzo Gracie. So it's kind of interesting. R's are pronounced H. And in Portuguese, R's and K's, names with R's and K's are considered powerful. That's why a lot of the Gracies, the jiu-jitsu family, their names begin with R. Oh gosh, Royce and Renzo, they're both awesome. I've actually met them both. I would say Renzo, just because Renzo is a little bit meaner. And yeah, that's basically it. Because Royce is very technical and very nice. Renzo, he'll get in there and just start cranking elbows and stuff. So, but they're both amazing.
Yeah, I'm familiar with both of those guys. I wasn't as familiar with the names, like the education on like how to pronounce their names, but I'm definitely familiar with those guys because like I love He will be back.
Hold on, he's back. Hold on.
Oh, no worries.
Nope. I thought he was back, but
That's
no,
all right.
he's
He'll be
not
back in a
yet.
second. But yeah, fans,
Yeah.
like I'm more of like an old school UFC kind of guy. I still like what they do nowadays, and I still think it's very cool. And I love the insane trajectory that we've had when it came to the UFC, like building such an amazing fan base and stuff. But I'm an old school guy. For any of Andy's students or friends that are into jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, or MMA fighting in general, like I was a big Frank Mir guy. That was my favorite guy. And when it came to like striking, I was into like Chuck Liddell and stuff like that. So I definitely dug that kind of those guys for sure. But definitely really into that. But while we're
Hold on, he's back. He's back.
Oh, cool.
We got him
I'm back. That was
Hey.
weird. It just cut off.
Yeah. No worries. I was just telling the fans, I was like, I'm like kind of an earlier to middle UFC fan. I still love what they do now. I love the trajectory that Dana has taken them on, and I think it's just so amazing and so great. But I was like more of a old school to mid school kind of guy, like to still, and he's long retired, but my ride or die guy has always been Frank Mir. Like that's my dude. When it came to striking, I was a Chuck Liddell fan. And so those were like my two like main guys and stuff like that. And like I said, like I still love what the UFC does, but to be honest, I don't really know who the big stars are nowadays. It was kind of like not long after like Uriah Faber and Ben Henderson and stuff like that is when I started getting a little disconnect. And to be honest, probably the last I really knew where I was more with my finger on the pulse was like, you know, right when Ronda Rousey's like reign ended and she went to like WWE and stuff like that.
It was easier. It used to be easier to watch. It was
What's up?
Like, it used to be easier to watch because it was on Spike TV. Now you have to have the ESPN Plus package and all this stuff.
And I have none of that stuff. And
yeah, you're talking about Chuck Liddell. I actually got to meet Chuck Liddell. I went out to his coach, John Hackelman.
Yeah,
he had a. It's called the Pit. That's his school.
San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, exactly. I went out there. I think it was 2009 for like a 3-4 day intense like training seminar. And Chuck, it kind of sucked because Chuck was supposed to be there teaching, but he had just released a book and he was on a book signing tour. But Glover Teixeira, who is one of the UFC former light heavyweight champions, and actually his student Alex Pereira, he's the champ now. Glover was one of the coaches out there. So at our graduation, I have a picture with me, Chuck Liddell, Glover, and John Hackelman.
Oh, that's so rad.
Yeah,
that's super duper cool. Hell yeah. Right back to you, Angel.
What venue would you say you definitely have to play?
Oh, man. Well, I think in America, everybody wants to play Madison Square Garden, but I don't know if I'll ever be big enough to play Madison Square Garden. I don't know about a venue, just as long as it's comfortable, has air conditioning, has good sound. Yeah, you know, I'll play anywhere as long as it's cool, you know. But yeah, I guess in America, everybody wants to play Madison Square Garden in New York City. That would be amazing.
Oh, hold on. Here's a message from It is Jude. I'm just using my mom's account.
Yeah, Jude is one of my martial arts students. Hey, buddy. That's funny.
Yeah.
50 push-ups. I'm just kidding.
Damn, 50 push-ups for using your mom's account. That's fair.
Does anybody have questions about old friend or recording or anything? These dudes are the Metal Summit, and y'all are making them talk about MMA and stuff.
Hey, it's totally all right. Like Angel and I are all about the good conversation, and if MMA is what they want to hear about, that's where Angel and I come in to talk about music.
That's cool.
So here's a question from Matthew. Lincoln from Jiu-Jitsu wants to know, what would your walkout song be if you were ever in a UFC fight?
Oh man, I've got to come out to one of my own songs. So probably The Poison. That was an LNV song, but I wrote that. Probably The Poison. And actually, when I was speaking with Golden Robot Records, I asked them, can you guys send my songs off to potentially, be used for UFC, WWE, whether it's mixed martial arts, pro wrestling, whatever, because they send out your songs to try to get you on TV, movies, and things like that. Because that would be killer to have some kind of athlete, some combat sports athlete, walk out to one of my songs, whether it's wrestling or MMA. I know wrestling's entertainment still. Pro wrestling's cool too. I dig that. Me and Chris Aiken were talking about that when he interviewed me the other day. That was pretty cool. I told him like one of my dreams that would be so awesome to be able to play at a WrestleMania. You know, have one of the wrestlers come out to my theme and have my band play. That'd be pretty sick. So yeah, if I'm in the UFC, I'm gonna come out to one of my own songs.
Stop the belt.
So it'd definitely be the Poison.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick it right to Jay.
Yeah, man, absolutely, for sure. So when it comes to just the process of recording, a question that actually Angel and I have gotten really into because I just think it's so good is when do you know a song's done, especially when it's one of your own?
I just play it. I record. I've got so many little basic riffs on my phone. I'm pretty simple. Like I said, I used to want to try to make things so complicated. Now I just want, cool riff, good verse, super catchy chorus, repeat, have a cool guitar solo in there, and that's it. If I try to listen to it as if it were not my song.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, do I like this song? And if I don't like it, I'll trash it.
Right.
So,
And
but that's really it.
And when you feel like it's ready to either be submitted or published or whatever, do you kind of stick by the same formula? Like if I can listen to it and I like it and I agree with where the placement of solos are and when I agree with the ending and it ends the way I think the song should end, is that kind of how you look at it? Is that kind of your formula?
Yeah. I mean, mainly these days, when it's mixed and mastered, it has to be what's called radio ready. So if someone's playing Metallica or Godsmack and then they play, a local regional artist like myself, there should be no sonic difference. So
Gotcha.
You have to have your mixing and mastering. It's got to sound powerful, especially hard rock, heavy metal. It's got to have power to it. So
definitely. When it comes to what, of course, I'm asking you for a casual peek behind the curtain, but of course, out of respect for not only yourself but the label, we understand that there's certain things that can't really be discussed. But what can you tell us right now about upcoming releases in 2014 for yourself? Like, are you kind of sticking the singles route at the moment? Is there ideas for EPs or full length? What are you allowed to tell us?
I can tell you everything. I mean, I can pretty much do whatever I want for 2024. The rest of the year, I have to release 4 more songs. And the music industry is very weird now. I can release them all in an EP, but it's better if you do one song every 3 to 4 months, because when you put them on streaming, whether it doesn't matter which service, when you put them on there, one song will get the Spotify or Apple Music will blast it out. If you put one song or if you put an album, it's still considered one unit. So if you release an EP or an album, it's still considered one thing. So even if radio picks up another song 2 or 3 months later, it's not recognized on streaming unless you kind of re-release it as a single. So what I've been told is it's better nowadays to just release singles every 2 or 3 months, as opposed to an album. It'd be cool to release an album because I'm old school. I used to manage a music store, CDs. I love CDs, but nobody cares about them anymore. It sucks.
Yeah.
Unless you're older. When LNV would play shows, we had CDs pretty much specifically for everybody like ages 35 and up. They would buy the CD so we could autograph the case. And everybody younger was like, "Are you on Spotify?" We're like, "Yeah." So, yeah, they want you to pretty much do like just a single at a time. You can do 1 or 2. Like what I'm going to do, I've got a bunch of new songs. I want to re-record and re-release some of the old LNV stuff with my new guys playing on it. Yeah. And so I'll probably release, a new song, then have 1 or 2 old songs with it as like an EP.
Sure.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's unless you're a name, of course, if I was a Metallica or Godsmack or whatever, you can release an album. That's cool.
Sure.
But I'm not. It's better for your smaller artists just to release singles.
I get you for sure.
Yeah. And I can do covers as well, because I spoke with the label. I was like, "Can I release covers?" They're like, "You can do whatever you want. Just send it to us, and of course, we're going to make sure it sounds good. We're not going to release it if it sounds like garbage, But I'm not going to let that." So I've got a couple of cover ideas, because there's a lot of bands, especially from Europe. All they do is their band goes in the studio and they pick an old cover, and 9 times out of 10, it's usually an 80s song. They'll release a cover, put it on YouTube, put it on streaming, and it'll get tons of views. And then after they do that 2 or 3 times, they'll start releasing their own original music. So the music industry is very weird nowadays. It's not like it used to be. Everybody's trying to find the magic thing that works. So.
No,
To the cat.
Oh no, totally. No, Megan was making a point about a video that she just saw about like animal cruelty and why just people shouldn't have pets and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, my
So
dog keeps like walking back and forth on the floor here.
Oh,
So.
teach your kid not to fucking beat on an animal.
Yeah,
Maybe
We're
the animal won't retaliate.
yeah. She was saying that a comment was that like a person was blaming the cat. It was like, no, the kid shouldn't have been pestering the animal.
Yeah, exactly.
But when it comes to like something like a cover, what would you said you had a couple of ideas, but what would you think about doing something in the idea of something like an instrumental cover and stuff like, because especially with you being a docking guy, I would love to see an Andy Henson, Mr. Scary.
That would be cool. Hey, it would be very hard to live up to the original because George is the man. But yeah, I've actually thought about doing that for shows, like because for my band, Dean Michaels, who did the mixing and mastering, he is the guitar player for Novarium. He has a George Lynch ESP Serpent, so we both have George Lynch signature guitars. So we could do Mr. Scary with actually George Lynch guitars. That'd be kind of cool. I've actually thought about that before. So.
Oh, that's very, very cool. You know, it's funny. Something just popped up on like my Facebook recently that that Novarium's like coming back to the area.
They're getting ready to do a tour in a few weeks. I just talked to Dean today. They're going to be on tour for I think 2 weeks.
Gotcha. I forget who they're out with, but but yeah, it just came across because it was the other band was somebody who I'm very familiar with too. And then when I saw Novarium, I was like, oh, that's bitchin'. I haven't thought about Novarium in a minute, and they're great. So that's definitely a show I'm gonna have to look back up and check out and stuff like that. So with the idea of like, you know, of course the new way, like singles and stuff like that. Being that you're an old head like myself and Angel, and just like you said, when it came to L&V, it had a lot to do. Your CDs released were for those old heads and stuff like that. Is that something that you're considering, or maybe even planning for when you're able to get out there with any touring plans you want to do, even if it's a small run of like a small run of CDs?
Yeah, I want to get a few more songs. I don't want to have every time I go out and play, here's a CD with 2 songs on it. So
right.
Get some more, at least like 5 or 6 songs, maybe up to 10, whatever, and release them out. Because with Golden Robot, I also have the option. I have a digital distribution deal along with marketing and promotions with them. If I choose to release physical copies, I contact them first and give them first dibs on releasing the physical copies.
Oh, okay.
But it's pretty expensive, and now people don't really buy them as much anymore. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, I haven't even played my first solo show yet. We're working on that. Going to have the first rehearsal in May, and then just working on getting some shows booked. I mean, the song it's right now, it's already on all the streaming services, but I'm going to be taking it down in a couple of weeks because Golden Robot is going to re-release it. Actually, this coming Friday, they're doing the pre-save deal, and they're going to re-release it on May 17th. So.
Very cool.
Take it down before then. The video will stay up. The video is still on YouTube, and that will remain there.
Nice. No, very, very cool, man, for sure. When you look at something like, for example, you're going out on Saturday to see Queensryche at M3, and myself, Angel, and Bobby, who's joined us, are all going to be rocking out at M3 as well. When you look at something like M3, being that you're a fan of M3 and especially of that scene, one thing I think is very cool to hear from you is, what do you think of M3 as a whole currently? And I don't mean this in like a negative type of way, because of course every M3 lineup that it gets announced, the keyboard warriors come out first. And I always get my chuckles out of the fact that I'm like, guys, it is a niche festival. They don't shy away from that. You are going to see Queensryche 3 times in 5 years. You are going to see LA Guns 2 times in 5 years. You're going to see all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to bringing in the new stuff,
in Pennsylvania?
Right. Like, for example, this year, you've got Sundogs, which is very, very cool. You've got Mark Schenker, you've got Bob Hare from Kix doing their Rush project, but you've got Van Halen for that fun, flirty covers feel. But then you've also got a band like Cold Sweat that's been around since the 80s and is finally getting their M3-ness. I mean, myself, Angel, and me and Bobby still talk regularly about how great it was for M3 to finally get Lizzie Borden out on an M3. And we still talk about how one of the biggest mistakes that M3 made, no disrespect to them, was only giving them 30 minutes when they are not a band that's designed to be 30 minutes. They are an hour or more. But anyway, how do you look at M3, not only as a fan, but as a musician?
I mean, it's fun because, I was a teenager in the 80s. That was the stuff, I grew up with, I liked everything. Like I said, my favorites were like Queensryche, Dokken, Iron Maiden, but I also love Motley Crue and Rat, Guns N' Roses, all that stuff. It's very cool. In Europe, they have a lot of bands that are definitely influenced by the 80s. They should start bringing some of them in because the cover bands and the tribute bands are really cool.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's scary, how much longer are the bands that we love from the 80s going to be able to play? And if they don't elevate new bands to get to that level where people want to come see them, is there going to be an M3 festival in 15 years, 20 years? I mean, maybe they will, but I don't see a lot of the bands, because I'm 52. A lot of those bands are in their 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
I don't see them up there rocking out being like 85 years old. I mean, maybe so. Maybe they're going to get some
Walker
stem cell treatment or whatever. But, got to get some newer bands to try to keep the festival going. But that would be, I'd love to play. My music, I've always tried, when I write a song, I try to mix, like I said, I love all the 80s stuff, the 80s hard rock, but I also love bands like Seven Dust. Yeah. And, Breaking Benjamin and all that. And with LNV, we played with everybody we opened up for Faster Pussycat, we opened up for Quiet Riot, Slaughter. We also opened up for Saliva, Puddle of Mud. You name it, because we're just melodic hard rock.
Yeah.
So we have heavy riffs, but, I sing. I've got a lot of friends who are into the, the raw kind of stuff, but that's not my thing. I'd rather sing. So I'd love to play M3. That would be killer, man.
That'd be awesome.
I'll go on at noon.
And that's kind of the thing too, is like there's bands from Europe, like even speaking of like Europe, that has been a long time since they've played M3. Yeah. You've also got bands that I absolutely adore from Europe, like a band like Hardcore Superstar, who I'm nuts for.
Yeah.
A band like the Backyard Babies.
They're on Golden Robot Records.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. A band like Crash Diet, who I absolutely love. There's also a band, and I know this is going to trigger the fuck out of Angel, but that's a good thing. A band like Kickin' Valentina that he and I are incredibly fond of, and Angel just hosted them. And especially with what Bobby's doing right now with his like continued success in photography. Not only is he shooting these really big bands that we already know, he's getting acclimated and meeting and also able to push these great bands that are a lower tier, but not like a small tier, but are like a next level of bands that we need to know about. Bobby, why don't you take it away for a bit, bro?
Hey, look, we're going on the 40th anniversary of Silvertide right now. It'd be great. I'd love to see Nick and, Walt come out. Let's bring out Heaven's Edge again, who killed it on the Monsters cruise. Bad Marriage. Love those guys to death, from Boston.
Tommy from Tesla.
Oh, yeah, Tommy Schio. I mean, what a great guy. I mean, just, God, there's so many bands that, bring out, Black Cherry out of Louisiana. There's so many good bands right now that, bring Lizzie out.
Kickin' Valentina is definitely an M3 style band. They should
bring Lizzie Hale.
Moses is partying with them all night over the weekend.
Yeah, I saw that. That's cool. Like I love Vane. I think Vane has only played one M3.
Love Vane.
I wish Vane would play every year because the year they played, my wife, we couldn't make it, and I was so mad. That's like one band. I've pretty much seen everybody I want to see. I never got to see Dio, and then he passed away. And I've never seen Vane, and I'm a huge Shotgun Messiah fan. It'd be cool to get them back together and play M3.
Tim
Yeah.
Scold and
Oh, yeah.
Shotgun, bro. That would be
Mhm.
awesome. So, Andy, you've unfortunately
Right.
just had some bad luck with years because, sorry, Angel, give me one quick second, my man. Is that Vane has slid in actually a few times. Myself, Angel, and Bobby actually interviewed
What
Delilah.
do you mean by
Um,
that? What, the vein slid in? What?
Yeah, you take that at face value there, my friend. But they have been able to pop in there a few times and stuff like
But
that.
it's been a couple of times. Okay, I
So
thought
we
it was only one of
definitely
them. It hasn't been
but-
that many
but it-
though.
yeah, no, not definitely not that many. I want to say at least 3 that I can think of.
Okay.
But it's still been a minute. But yeah, no, we definitely want to with something like that, because even a band like Vane, they're so great, but they're kind of that. As much as I consider them an upper tier band because their music's so amazing,
Yeah.
they're a little bit on that low tier, of course, because times change. There are difficulties that happen. They don't have a lot of albums, despite the fact their albums are just bitchingly good.
Yeah.
But so it is one of those tricky things. But I would love to see Vane come back, hopefully sooner rather than later. Angel, right to you, bro.
Yeah, just to be respectful of time.
Of course.
we got 4
Oh,
more
we're cool,
minutes
we're
with
cool.
you. We're
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We got some
Yeah,
fan
like
questions.
an hour's our max, so we still have about 18 minutes.
I just don't
we
want
got
the wife
some-
coming in here
right.
kicking me in the head because she's got to go to bed.
We got
She's
some
black
fan
belt
questions.
karate. She might roundhouse kick me in the face or something. So.
But before that, I kind of like this comment. Yes, we are able to see the chat. And
Oh,
yes, I
that's
do
another
see
one
your
of my
questions.
students, Malachi.
And I do see the questions. I am going to get to the questions right now. So let me get to the questions.
No,
Okay.
absolutely.
If you had
Oh my gosh, come on.
if you had to fight a UFC professional, who would it be?
Oh gosh. Well, I would only do that if it was like maybe 20 years ago when I was 32 and not 52. So
Oh,
Unless they
come on.
want-
Don't be
I'll
a
fight-
wuss bag.
I'll fight Conor McGregor. They can pay me like if they want to give me a couple of million, I'll get in the ring with Conor McGregor. I don't care. Just give me $2 million. Win or lose, I'll be good to go.
I
That
would
would be
too,
cool.
but I would make sure I have good medical benefits.
Oh yeah, totally. A real quick comment, M3. I wish a band like Halloween would play M3.
Exodus.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song to cover?
Oh gosh. And it's very nice. That was my beautiful stepdaughter, Jamie. Hello, Jamie. I'm surprised she's listening. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Give you some rock metal cred, Jamie. Oh gosh, man. I used to like doing. We did the heavy version of "Cry Little Sister." That was always good because I'm a huge Lost Boys fan. I think that's why me and a buddy of mine named Tim Averitt, we don't seem to age. We're both 52, and everybody thinks we're in our 30s. And we tell them it's because we watch the Lost Boys at least like once a month, so we don't age. So I love playing "Wasted Years" by Iron Maiden. That's one of my favorite covers. Oh gosh, so many cool songs that I've played through the years. Yeah, I'll just say those two: like "Cry Little Sister" and "Wasted Years" by Iron Maiden.
Nice.
Would you do a cartoon cover song?
A cartoon cover song. Well, yeah, every night before we go to bed, I'm so stoked because I'm a huge Batman fan. My son Halen loves Batman. So my wife goes to bed, and Halen and I sit on the sofa, and we watch different versions of animated Batman, whether it's Batman, Batman Beyond, Beware the Batman, whatever. And they all have really cool instrumental tracks as the intro song. So, yeah, I'd play one of the themes to Batman. That'd be awesome. This is cool answering these questions.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that one of your students thought that I was not seeing the comments.
Oh,
But I do see all of the comments. So when you,
Yeah,
post
you got the hard
questions, I do
job.
see them.
I gave Angel that job, and then over the years, he also took on being the producer of the show. You know, as like I said when we were off the air about Angel getting us brought on and connected. So I was like, "Shit, man!" I was like, I set you up with the fans section of the show because I felt like you'd be really good at it. And Angel was all about it. He was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll be in charge of monitoring the questions. That sounds awesome." And then all of a sudden, he just kind of landed the producer's role too. So I was like, "Oh my god, now
I'm like,
I
all
put
right,
so
this
much on
part-
that guy."
This part I signed
LNV
up
used to
for,
do
but-
Facebook Lives, and I'm trying to talk, and I'm watching. All these questions are coming in. It's like, we're falling behind. People get mad when you don't answer their questions. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
you can't see them all.
No, I mean, I get to 99. I have a 99% rate.
Oh yeah. We've had a couple of guests before where and I mean you're a regular of watching the show, which we always love and appreciate, and we've had our share of blessings where we've had shows where just whether it was just a good night of the week for people or maybe they just happen to have a particular cult following where it just throws on really like heavy. Like I brought on a vampire personality that Megan and I are fans of and have gotten to know and stuff like that. And they have a real rabid fan base through their YouTube channel. And you were just seeing comments and questions just flooding and angels, just like, I am doing my best, bro. Like, dude, nobody expects you to get to all of those because I can see them too. And they're just flying down the side. Yes, Pupper.
That's Mojo.
Mojo.
What is
Dream place to do a concert at? Oh gosh, like I said earlier, probably I don't know, Madison Square Garden would be cool. Some big arena in LA, or like a big festival if it was in Hawaii on the beach. That'd be cool.
Nice.
Definitely.
Play a show, hang out at the beach. That'd be sweet.
Question to you is: do you have, over the course of your career, do you have any songs, demos that did not make an album?
No, actually I don't, because what I do, if I don't like it enough to make a song out of it, I'll ditch it. I'll just delete it from my little thing of riffs. Especially now with the iPhone, it's just easy. I mean, every night, it doesn't matter if I'm exhausted, I will pull out my guitar and I'll pull the metronome out and do my scales before I go to bed. And a riff will just pop in. I'll record it on the voice memo thing on my iPhone and just keep it. But if I don't write a song out of it later, or if it's repetitive of something I've already done, I'll just delete it. So.
Have you ever done something where you just, a cool song title popped up in your head and you wrote a song around it? Has that ever happened to you?
Oh yeah, well actually how I write songs, again, I'm a guitar player. Every song I write starts with a riff. I don't write lyrics or anything. Lyrics are usually last. I write a riff, then I'll get a vibe, and I have a sheet full of just song titles. I'll get different ideas, things that have happened to me, happened to other people, watching movies, watching TV, reading a book, whatever. And I've got song titles, and I will listen to the riff, get a vibe. I'll look at my song titles, and I'll just pick something, put it with it, and then I'll just start writing lyrics. That's how I do it. The lyrics are always last. I always have the song structure down first, the riff, verse, the chorus, the bridge, all that stuff. And then I will write the lyrics after I have the melody. Because again, I never wanted to be a singer. It just ended up that way. I'm a guitar player. So. Yeah, I've got a whole list of song titles. I mean, it was interesting. I found out listening to Jeff Pilson. He was in an interview a few weeks ago. And he said he and George used to look at, dating ourselves here, but the old TV guides. They would look through TV Guide and get song titles by looking at TV Guide. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
One of your students says, see you.
Okay. See you, Malachi. Have a good night, buddy.
Thanks for tuning in, Malachi. We appreciate you.
Yeah, he's like 13 or 14. He should be in bed.
Oh, wow.
Even though I wasn't in bed this time when I was 13 or 14.
Right.
I'm a night owl. I don't get energy. Like my wife has to get up really early. I get motivated. I get song ideas. I get lesson plans for my students at usually around 11 o'clock every night. So.
You were making me laugh the other day when we were just kind of like talking about just the setup of your episode tonight, where you were just like, hey, kind of like, what's your guys's, like, how do you usually do it? Like, how's the length and stuff? And you were telling me about, the interview that you did for the local radio station, which I thought was bitching. And then you were like, yeah, but then what I didn't know is that the same host has a personal podcast and wanted to interview me for that. So what I thought was going to be like an hour turned into like 2.5. And my wife is just like, dude, I got work.
Yep, exactly. So that was funny. I had to listen to one song every day. Oh
Oh
gosh,
my God. Isn't
man,
that similar to the last one of your life?
I know she's got the tough questions, man. Dang
Oh,
on.
yeah, I got. Yep. I'm actually writing down your questions so I can use it at M3 because they're really good
Every
questions.
day, what would it be? My gosh. Man. Well, I guess since it motivated me to play guitar, I mean, it could change by tomorrow. I'll just say In My Dreams by Dokken.
Nice.
So I can hear George do the hammer on tapping part. So.
Mm-hmm.
We got any more good ones?
I'm gonna kick right back up to Jay.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. So as we go into like our final little ring around before we cut you loose for this evening, with all of a sudden the love and attention that you're getting with this solo endeavor that came at the unfortunate expense of LNV calling it a rap for the time being.
Yeah.
How are you kind of like setting yourself up for how you want this to go? The fact that Golden Robot has got so much love and support for you, I think, is absolutely bitchin' super stoked for that. But of course, there's got to be some personal trajectory goals that you would want to accomplish. And how are you currently kind of like shaping things up for that?
Well, I've got a good group of guys I'm working with. Jonathan May from Day in Pompeii. He's going to be playing drums for my live band. Dean Michaels from Novarium is going to be playing guitar. And I'm happy to announce my buddy Lincoln York. He's had a project called Hyperflesh for years. He's going to be playing bass. And Lincoln is also a master sound engineer. So that's cool. When we play shows, if the sound guy sucks, Lincoln can be like, hey, man, you need to fix this. Just trying to stay positive and driven and just work with people who share the same goals. That's the cool thing. The other three guys who are going to play with me are all essentially the leaders of their bands and musical projects, and they know what it's like. Probably make some of their band members mad, but they know what it's like to work with other people who are sometimes slack, that don't have the same drive. So this is really cool. All four of us have been talking, just getting it going. I want to accomplish as much as I can. I figure, I'm 52. This is probably my last run, last shot at something. I want to do my absolute best. That's all I've ever wanted to do. I don't have any big illusions or of grandeur or whatever, but like, if you're going to do something, do your best. Try to accomplish something great. You only have one life. Do your absolute best. I just want to release great songs. At our age and the way the money financially is, I doubt we're going to be doing long tours because you don't make a lot of money nowadays on tours. People don't want to hear that, but I just want to play, big festivals. Hopefully, like LNV got to open up for a lot of national acts. That was cool. I want to keep doing that. And of course, if some big band, whatever, Godsmack says, we want to take you out for 3 or 4 weeks and you're going to make this much money. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But, I'm not holding out for that. Just want to accomplish great things and, work with the right people. For musicians out there, and this is not being a jerk to anybody, man. If somebody in your band does not have the same drive you do, be upfront and tell them. From my personal experience, they're probably not going to like it because most people don't want to hear that. But if it ain't going to work, move on. Be professional, be straightforward, and just try to find people to work with to accomplish your goals. Man. Get people who are like-minded, who are positive, and just do your best to accomplish your goals. Don't, hang out with people. Oh, he's my buddy. You should still be able to be friends with somebody if you're not in a band. And I didn't catch the memo, but apparently you cannot be friends with dudes that you used to be in a band with if you're not in a band with them anymore, which that really sucks because when dudes are supposed to be your brothers, brothers fight, brothers argue, brothers should be able to talk and make up, but that doesn't happen, and that's very sad. Yeah. So with my solo stuff, the guys are cool. They don't mind. It's going to be under my name. I thought about before I did it. I thought about thinking of a name. I came up with Last Night's Villain. I think that's an awesome band name. Yeah. But I kind of I don't like how it ended, so I'm just going to kind of lay that to rest for a little bit. Still play the songs because I wrote them. But I was like, I have all these names, and I started thinking, when I was a kid, You know, Prince, Rick Springfield, Kiss, and Van Halen were my heroes. Rick Springfield is a pretty boring name if you think about it. I was like, if Rick Springfield can do it, you know, and like WWE talking about wrestling, Randy Orton.
Right.
Now, you guys watch wrestling or not, but Randy
Love
Orton,
wrestling.
that's kind of a boring name. You know, if Randy Orton's awesome, but I'm like, Randy Orton, Andy Henson. If Randy Orton can do it, if Rick Springfield can do it, I'll just put my name out there. And it was the best thing I ever did. You know, I've said this a bunch, but I've accomplished more in the last 4 months as a solo artist than I have in the last like 3 years being in a band. And it's because I'm working with the right people now. And that's what it takes. You just got to stay positive, stay disciplined, stay driven, and just do your best to smash your goals, man. Don't let anybody get you down because they're going to try to, you know.
Oh,
Just do
yeah.
your best, man.
Absolutely. Like Megan and I are huge Hardy Boys fans. And when you look at it, it's like Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, those names aren't sexy. You know what I mean? But when you think of like the Hardy Boys, you're just like, man, they're jumping off shit. And dude's got rainbow colored hair and tattoos all over the place. And the other dude's doing this like broken psychotic like split personality thing now. Like it's just super cool. So yeah, you can have a name like, you know, like Jim Brown or Bob Smith. Doesn't mean you can't have like a bitchin' career when you know how to arc your talent around and stuff like that.
And the other guys, you know, with their projects, with them helping me playing out live, every time I play, you know, it'll be Andy Henson, you know, featuring Jonathan May from A Day in Pompeii, Dean Michaels from Novarium, Lincoln York from Hyperflesh. That way, hopefully, if we're playing big shows, that'll get their band's attention and get them some streams and plays and YouTube views and all the stuff we have to do nowadays in the entertainment industry. So
absolutely, for sure. Is for anybody who's unfamiliar but getting to know you, of course, through this interview and are looking you up, is Andy Henson your full name? What they should be looking for, or is it Henson or
just Andy Henson? I'm on Facebook. I have a personal page which is mainly for friends and stuff, but I have a artist page. But they're both Andy Henson. My personal page is me and my wife and my son. Music page is me playing my guitar. I mean, like I said, all this happens so fast. I don't have a website. I don't have anything. I didn't even take new pictures. All the pictures you see on social media are the solo shots I could find from LNV shows from like the last year where nobody else was in the picture and you could see my guitars clearly. So I've got to do a photo shoot soon. You can go to goldenrobotrecords.com. Check out the page there. When you go to the home page, it's your bigger artists like Filter, Stephen Piercy, Faster Pussycat. Go to the index and go to the Robot Distro. That's for the smaller artists who have the distribution deals. And I am the second artist, American Jet Set, who I believe are playing or were supposed to play the M3 pre-party. But
Ian had to have some like a surgery or some kind of doctor-ordered rest. And unfortunately, we're going to miss out on some Ian time on Friday night.
Yeah, so they're the very first band you see, American Jet Set, then Andy Henson. I'm the second artist on there under Robot Distro. So go to Golden Robot Records, and then on Facebook and Instagram, just Andy Henson. That's it. No website, no nothing yet. And I kind of like it that way because I want to keep it simple. Yeah. Because I'm old and I like social media, but sometimes it gets tiring after a while. So if I have one or two things, that's all I have to deal with right now. So.
Absolutely, brother. And I got two small things real quick, and then I'm going to kick it to Angel to clear the board and just make sure that we're good before we cut you loose. One, have you always been a Gibson guy? Because it seems like Gibson is your preferred app.
No. I have ESPs.
Oh, you have ESPs?
They're all ESPs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, here's the crazy thing about this. I have been trying to get an ESP endorsement forever, but their requirements are ridiculous. You have to send in your tour dates. You have to play a minimum of 100 dates a year. All this. I would send them our shows. We were playing really big shows, but it was only like 1 or 2 shows a month. Never got anything back. I played ESPs for 30 years. I have a George Lynch, a Phoenix, an Eclipse, a Strat, blah, blah, blah. And then a couple of years ago, Eddie Van Halen's one of my heroes too. I got an EVH stealth guitar. Oh, and that guitar is amazing. When you go to the my page on Golden Robot, the very top picture, you see just a guitar with my fingers. That is the EVH Stealth. So that is actually the guitar that you hear on Old Friend. That is all the guitar tracks on there is EVH. So all my other guitars are ESPs. So ESP, if you're watching, I would like an endorsement. Thank you very much. Or
I'm looking
EVH.
closer at the picture I use now. I was judging that
ESP,
question off the body of your guitar. I didn't look at the headstock when I posted it.
Yeah, that's an ESP Eclipse, which is the ESP version of a Les Paul.
Right.
Yeah, that was good though. But yeah, now I play. I've got my EVH, and I love that guitar. So EVH gear, Wolfgang, if you're watching this, I'd like to be on your team, dude. That would be awesome. So yeah, ESPs and EVH guitars. Because
Nice.
George Lynch is the reason. George Lynch and Queensryche, they played ESPs. So.
Absolutely. And this is just kind of a fun one for me. We're both horror guys. We're both Lost Boys guys. But you posted a picture today. I believe it was a shared memory photo of you and your wife. But you were wearing a Crow T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
And love the Crow, which means I've got to ask you: are you going to see the new movie?
I'll see it. I hope it's good. I'm kind of, just like any kind of Crow remake. I'm like, because they had the sequels years ago. It was kind of like, Yeah, The Crow is awesome, man. The first time I read the book, and believe it or not, I used to have really long hair. I haven't had long hair in like 24 years, but like my hair was like down to here, and I was sparring with a guy. We were grappling, and it was just playing. We were having some fun, but he choked me with my hair. And I was like, dude, if this can happen in the dojo, it could happen for real. So I went home, but I haven't had long hair since then. But I used to have long hair, and sometimes I'll still have ghost hair in the middle of the night. I'll feel my hair. But so I'm long hair at heart, but I miss it when I'm on stage. But when I'm doing jiu-jitsu and karate and everything, I don't miss the long hair.
No.
Dude, when I had long hair, I was the Crow. I was some version of the Crow. I was either Brandon Lee or when Sting was the Crow.
Yep.
WCW. I was that every Halloween for probably 5-6 years. And I even did it a few years ago at an LNV show, but I went out and bought a wig and I was the Crow. See, I love the Crow, man.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. Like for me, it's like simple enough. I mean, first movie, iconic, untouchable, perfect from top to bottom. Second movie, Stairway to Heaven. I like that movie. I think it's a comparable sequel. I think it did it justice. I like the story arc. Iggy Pop's character is great. I thought it was really solid. The third one, honestly, I really didn't hate. I didn't mind the slight comedy aspect that they went into it. I like Ed Ward a lot. I think he's a great kind of comedy asshole mixed with a really good villain like he was in that. He's a very good character actor. Yeah. I like Kirsten Dunst just fine. I'm not like a super fan, but I mean, I liked her when, in movies like, Interview with the Vampire and stuff. I think she's of quality. So I didn't think that the third movie, Salvation, was where it needed to be, but it didn't ruin my day. I do love me some Edward Furlong, but Wicked Prayer hurt my heart. That movie was just not good. It just wasn't very good. But anyway,
I like the Crow TV show. Remember that?
Yes.
The TV show?
And the TV show, I have the complete series in my guest room on the show.
That's Mark Dacascos. He's the martial arts guy.
Yep, from Double Dragon.
Yep,
And so when it comes to this new one, here's the thing. I'm a Bill Skarsgård fan. I really do enjoy his work. I think this Boy Kills World movie coming up looks really interesting. Loved his rendition of Pennywise. Cannot wait for Nosferatu. I think he's absolutely going to kill that. The funny thing is, from neck up, I'm actually really into it. I don't hate the mullet. I think it's weird. But I don't hate it. I'm like, okay, the makeup looks how I want it to look, so I'm down with that. His jawline, all that stuff. Yep.
Are you dumb?
Nope. From neck up, I am down for the cause.
No.
Neck down is Megan and I don't agree on this.
He looks like a fucking retard.
From neck down, it's so awkward. I mean, the build is fine, but the pencil jailhouse tattoos are weird to me. It's just kind of a little too new school modern day rapper trying to get into such a classic thing. But one of the reasons I am invested in this is I've heard that unlike the original movie, which is just so iconic in its own right, this movie, from what I've heard, is supposed to be very, very more about the graphic novel.
Okay.
That's what has me more invested and down for the ride.
Yeah.
Is I'm invested. I'm down for the potential loss of 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
But I'm hoping that I leave.
Flop.
Yeah, Megan's like it's gonna flop. But I'm hoping that I leave with a smile. Angel, let's kick it over to you, buddy. Do we have any outstanding questions or anything for Andy before we let him loose for the night?
How many guitars do you have?
You should have never been remade.
Seven.
It's a
Seven.
big
7 guitars. I'd like to have 8. I want to get a 7-string. I've actually got my buddy's 7-string I'm borrowing here just because that's a whole different animal. So once I get a 7-string, I'll have 8 guitars. I actually don't like to have a lot of guitars. I got a buddy of mine named Todd. Dude, he's got like, I swear, 30 guitars. I don't know. I have hard enough time picking which one I want to play for a show with just having 7. If I had 30, I'd be like, So I just like to have a few of top quality something, whether it's guitars or amps. I don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff. So
that brings me to the final question.
You should have never been remade.
What are your thoughts on the 7-string guitar?
Oh, what are my thoughts? I think it's cool, man. It's a great tool. I'm not really down with the 8 or 9 string. I think they look kind of ridiculous. Plus, they kind of, if you have an 8 or 9 string, there's really no need for a bass player. But when you're going down for B, B, or you can drop it to drop A like Korn on a 7-string. That's cool, and it opens up new doors, for tuning possibilities and stuff. So I like 7-strings. They're pretty cool. And I never really played one before, but I borrowed my buddies, and now I want to get one. So my wife's like, great, another guitar.
Like just one more.
That's right, one more. I only want one more. One more.
Yeah, only one more until the next one.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I'm not very picky. I didn't get a new guitar for, probably each one was like 10 years in between. So, like I said, once I get a guitar that I love, I play it and play it and play it. I don't keep switching back and forth.
You ran out. No, absolutely, brother. But Andy, thank you so much, bro. Like, we definitely want to respect your time, of course, and respect, your wife being able to rest, and also respect you being able to rest, especially since you had training and everything today. But thank you so much for being down for the experience. Thank you so much for reaching out to us, to wanting to get down and discuss your career and everything you've got going on. We definitely, hopefully, want to invite you back for maybe a longer episode where maybe we can delve a little bit into the full-blown arc of your career. I think that would be very, very cool to go into if you're down at some point for that. But first and foremost, the thing that's always the most important to myself and Angel is that you had a good time, that you felt respected, and you liked the questions that were asked of you.
That was awesome. Had a great time, man. It was awesome. Thank you guys so much. It was really cool. I've been looking forward to this all day.
Awesome, man. Super duper stoked. Andy, have a great rest of your evening, my friend. You take care, and we can't wait to see you on Saturday, man. It's going to be a great time.
Cool. Yep. See you guys on Saturday.
Take care, my friend. See you soon.
All right.
Thank you so much, Metal Summoners. We're going to let Andy go for the evening, and we're going to stay on for a couple more minutes just so Angel and I can talk a little bit about M3, because that's the next event that's coming up for the Metal Summit that you guys get to see us at and get to rock out with us. So we're very, very much looking forward to that. But make sure that you're following Andy Henson at his personal profiles on Instagram, but especially on Golden Robot Records. Like he said, he keeps his overall socials pretty private and pretty chill. There's not a lot of overall things, but Spotify, all of your music outlets, make sure that you're looking up Andy Henson on all of those and follow him through Golden Robot Records and support everything that he's doing to keep music going. Fresh new things in your iPod, fresh new things on your phone, lots of new music to look forward to. And we definitely cannot appreciate him more. And again, support him in his continued success. And we thank you so much again, my friend.
All right. Thank you guys. You guys have a great night.
You take care. So Metal Summoners, it's been a fun 3-week arc for the Metal Summit with so much stuff that's been going on. Myself and my partner Ron, we're doing Monster Mania Con under Vampire and Devil with Megan, Mrs. Vamp. We had a great time doing that. Last weekend, our beloved Angel was hosting, walking out on stage live on the Metal Summit, hosting Kickin' Valentina's album release party for Star Spangled Fist Fight. But we also have to give a little bit of love and appreciation to TMS alumni in Wicked, who we had 2 weeks ago on the show. And they had myself and Megan out for a great time opening up for Raven at Metro Gallery in Baltimore. So that was really great. We had a good time hanging out with them on Monday, spending time with them. But Angel, we've got M3 in 3 days, brother. It's going to be a good time, my friend. There she is. There's Mrs. Vamp. There's Megan.
Like, how do you top this? Last week, Kickin' Valentina. This weekend, M3.
All the time, Megan. He was saying, how do we top Kickin' Valentina followed by M3? I'm like, all the time, Megan. That's how we top everything.
Walking around naked.
We like that, right?
Yeah.
Angel, so how was the Kicking Valentina thing?
It was fucking awesome. I mean, it was just freaking surreal. Because we were talking about this in the fall, like months ago,
Yeah.
and I'm like, April is really far away. I mean, M3 has not been announced yet, and suddenly when it's all announced, I was like, it was just fucking awesome.
Yeah,
But
man.
DK parties all night. Great. It's like 2:30 in the morning, and DK's like, "We're gonna go to the after party." And I'm like, I gotta return the car by 7 a.m. and I got the flight at 9:30. So you go back to the hotel, and you got to get up at 6 a.m. like 3 hours later.
It was 2:30 in the morning, and DK was like, "Let's go to the after party."
Yeah, there was an after party.
Oh my god!
Why
Waffle
not? Have
House,
fun.
Waffle House, or the Days Inn.
There
Waffle
you
House
go.
and Days Inn.
Waffle
I
House
was like-
place to
and I
go.
was
You
like-
might see fights there.
Yeah. You
But
might get a
man,
Star Spangled Fist fight at Waffle House at 2:30 in the morning.
I was thinking that. I was like, hey, good publicity. But there was just a lot of people there. The cool thing is the people that watched the show, they were just showing love towards it, and DK was as well. He was like, these guys support the new bands and
No, for
all
sure.
that stuff, and it was just really an awesome time. So it should be easy to party all night at M3 when you're partying with DK all night. M3, I got this.
Yeah, man. We're stoked about that. Yeah, Megan and I got a hotel, so we're going to be in town all 3 days. So she'll get off of work on Friday. We'll cruise into town. We're going to make an appearance at Dave Dillman's M3 party because Midnight Devils are going to be there, as well as they're going to have a special guest perform a song with them, which I've been sworn to secrecy on. So anybody who comes out to Dave Dillman's M3 party will get to see something very cool involving the Midnight Devils. So I definitely suggest that the fans get to rock out and hang out and check that out because that's going to be a really good thing. Megan's going to do my hair and make sure that I'm looking very, very
Nice.
pretty. But
I gotta
M3 is
back to
going to
my
be great.
hairstylist. I
Absolutely.
definitely got to go back to my hairstylist because,
You were looking
When I got
fierce
there-
there, Angel Sexplosion.
oh yeah, man, one of my exes who have blocked me, unblocked me, friended me.
That's
I got
funny.
I
All,
That was
all
cool.
over some straight hair.
exactly.
Nice, dude. So
And
really, so
my bestie was like, "You got to keep it that way." And then when she saw the picture of how I looked Sunday, she was like, "Yeah, you really got to keep it that way."
oh, that's hilarious, dude. So let's talk a little bit about M3 before we give everybody back their evening. Who are you looking forward to, bro? Who are some of the bands that you're really stoked about?
I'm stoked to see Last in Line. Really stoked to see Queens right again. I mean, they never disappoint. Dee Snider, just because it's Dee Snider, so we know he's going to go on stage with Bret Michaels
Facts.
and do a couple of his own songs.
Mhm.
Doro, I'm looking forward to. I love Doro. I'm looking forward to seeing Doro. Doro, if you need a massage therapist, if you need a bodyguard, you need somebody to give you a ride to the airport, anything, let me know.
Absolutely, man.
Whatever
No,
you
like,
need, let me know.
oh, totally. Like, I remember when I sent you that email and I texted you, I was like, bro, I just got offered Doro for us, but this is the time I need. Are you available? You were like, yes, book that. Say yes. I will make time for Doro Pesh. But that's going to be absolutely great. You're totally right, dude. I mean, Queensryche is always great. I always am going to look forward to Stephen Piercy because, TMS alumni Eric is, he's a friend of mine. So I'm always looking forward to supporting my friends. D, of course, is D. So I'm super duper stoked about that. And of course, me and my pretty boy Floyd, bro. So
Yes,
of course,
I'm looking forward to Pretty Boy
overall,
Floyd.
that's definitely the band that I'm most hype about is Pretty Boy Floyd because I just love my Pretty Boy Floyd. But I'm also going to be excited to see, hopefully, finally get to see Y&T because while I've been able to see Y&T often, especially with M3, I always end up in an interview during their set. So I've missed them at like every M3. So I'm really hoping to get to finally see Y&T. Last in Line is great. You know, the surviving members of the original Doro band, along with Andrew Freeman, who's been on the show, and Phil Susan is going to be super duper awesome. But it's definitely going to be a good time for sure. And I'm really excited, you know, and I'm really excited to see Night Ranger. It's been a long time since I've seen Night Ranger, and they always are just great.
I'm looking forward to seeing Quiet Riot with Jizzy Pearl. I've never seen them with Jizzy Pearl, and Jizzy Pearl, he's a badass rock and roll singer. You know, he and Stephen Piercy, they're not your next door neighbor looking. They're fucking rock stars.
They are, man.
That's how they are to me. And Bless Alias, looking forward to seeing him playing with Stephen Piercy. I've never seen him live.
Yes.
Looking forward to that.
Oh, that's going to be great. Getting to see Blas is going to be super awesome. Getting to see Johnny Monaco again, of course, from Enough's Enough fame, but he's been playing with Stephen Piercy for a while now, so that's always going to be absolutely awesome. No, you're definitely right about that. So, in my opinion, I've seen Quiet Riot a lot. I unfortunately never got to see them with Kevin, but of all the different singers I've seen them with, Jizzy Pearl has always been my favorite. Now, people know, who are familiar with my taste and the stuff I'm into, they know how much I like James Durbin. I think James Durbin is absolutely fantastic. I'm not an American Idol guy. I'm just not into that stuff. But when I hear about a person I can probably like get into, I'll pay attention to them. But I saw James perform solo opening up for Steel Panther. Absolutely killed it. Blew me away, and I've been a James Durbin fan ever since. I loved him in Quiet Riot. Thought he was great. You know, I liked Scott when I saw him at M3 2012, even though he was there for only a short time. I didn't get to see Mark, who was there for about 50 shows. I saw plenty of footage of him. Sounded great, but just wasn't really who I thought was fit for the job. But I've seen Quiet Riot, and as far as a professional singer, frontman, a rock star, and a guy who just gets it, Jizzy Pearl, hands down, has always been my favorite frontman of Quiet Riot. I think he's the man for the job. If I got the opportunity to get James back, I wouldn't hate to see it, because I love his tone for a lot of those songs, and his energy is fantastic. But Jizzy is amazing.
Yeah, Jizzy has that badass rock and roll look, and there's an unwanted guest coming to M3.
Yeah.
Rain.
I know Megan was telling me about that, because she's way more on top of the weather than I ever am. And she's like, babe, it's supposed to rain again for M3. I'm like, wait, what? 2 days ago, it's supposed to be like 70 degrees.
You know what? I got a theory behind that. And here's my theory. Whenever Kickin' Valentina plays Maryland, it never rains. So next year,
M3, let's go.
Not to get any rain, you got to book Kickin' Valentina, so you can have a sunny M3.
I agree with that.
And that's a fact. Every time Kickin' Valentina plays Maryland, it never rains.
Bring the heat. We don't need that kind of wetness. Other wetness we can possibly get behind, but we don't need us some rain on M3 when there should be other fluidness coming through and all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely going to be a good time, brother. I'm super duper stoked on that. And also, for a lot of the fans of KV, definitely make sure that you guys are paying attention to your mailboxes, because Angel and I have talked about it on the show. We've talked about it text-wise ourselves. We put our money where our mouth is when it comes to merch, and hanging on my wall as we speak is my Kickin' Valentina vinyl for Star Spangled Fist Fight. Came in the mail today, and Angel left the KV release show with merch in his hands.
Yes, I did. It's right here.
There it is.
Now, the cool thing is that you open it and you have the lyrics.
Nice.
There's a nice picture of Jimmy. Oh, yep.
You're good. No, don't.
I love his drum set.
It's my show.
No,
Yeah, but they had like really cool booklet inside.
Dude, I love that. That's the one thing I get, and it was funny too because it's just like what we were saying about us being old heads, like when we were talking to Andy. It's awesome to still be able to get those physical products with amazing photos, get able to read lyrics, and just see a really cool overall thing.
Yeah, like look, this is what you get with the CD. You get the physical CD, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, the old-fashioned way, you got the CD and you get the lyrics. So they write the lyrics, they post pictures of the band, and you know what? This is something I really enjoyed when I was a kid.
Nice picture of Jimmy there.
Oh yes, he has a cool drum set. He's definitely a badass drummer.
I'm better.
Absolutely, it is.
And they're in Europe right now. They're
Yeah.
definitely invading Europe.
I got you. Let me sign off. Absolutely, brother, for sure. Well, Metal Summoners, we're going to call it on that. M3 this weekend. It is the way. If you're in Maryland, you need to be there. If you're not in Maryland, you need to be there. But it's going to be great. Angel and I are going to be around for 3 days. We're going to check out a couple of the M pre-parties, some after parties, and all that great stuff. But you got Queensryche headlining on Saturday, Brett Michaels with Dee Snider headlining on Sunday, and a great series of pre-parties on Friday.
Yes, and
Featuring Pete Evick and Dean Kramer from the Brett Michaels Band. You've got Midnight Devils performing at another M pre-party. So much great stuff going on. But Metal Summoners, we appreciate you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Over the weekend, we will have the guest announcement for next week's episode. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys in a week, and it's going to be great. If you find me and Angel, come over. Say what's up. Say hi to us.
Right. There's a pre-party, but
Yep.
then there's the party. There's an after party.
Yes.
There's an after party. There's a breakfast party. There's the pre-M3 tailgate.
Yep.
And then there's a whole bunch of parties after that. So
Absolutely.
my advice, take Monday off.
Definitely.
That is really going around to call out on Monday.
Yeah, definitely is in a lot of people's best interest to take that early day off. But if you guys are at M3, if you see us, come over and say hi. You got me, you've got Angel, you've got Megan. Megan's the incredibly photogenic one that you're going to want to take all your pictures with because she's going to have her outfit in fierce mode going, but it's going to be great. But it's a giant family party. What's up?
I'm bringing my leather pants.
You're bringing the leather pants?
And a dress shirt that I bought just for M3.
All right. We're gonna get like if you've seen some of the other events that we've done, like when we were at Tourist Inn, you're familiar with the leather pants. But Angel's got his outfit on lock. But you're gonna have to wait till you see him in person. There is a possibility maybe there'll be a cowboy hat. We'll have to wait and see which angel we get. Do we get the angel from heaven or do we get the angel from purgatory?
And hey,
I think Bobby, we get the angel from purgatory.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby's going to be there, so Bobby will take some pictures for like OnlyFans. So
yep.
Thank you, Bobby, for doing that, buddy.
Absolutely. Bobby's going to be there with his assless chaps. So it's definitely going to be a good time. But Metal Summoners, take care. Have yourselves a great couple of days. We'll see you at M3. It's going to absolutely be a blast. Thank you to Andy Henson for rocking out with us tonight. Make sure you're checking him out on his socials and everything that he's doing and supporting him and supporting Golden Robot Records because they have so many bands on there that we love. You know, bands like Stephen Piercy, like himself, the late Stephen Riley's LA Guns, so much amazing stuff. So thank you so much to Golden Robot Records as well. You can follow Angel Alamo at Angel Alamo 78 on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Salem.vampire, but make sure that you're following the Metal Summit on Facebook and YouTube in particular. That's where we go live. That's where the episodes are, and that's what you're going to want to check out. But also make sure that you're following the Metal Summit on Instagram because that's also where our guest announcement posts come out. But you guys take care. We'll see you guys in a week. Have a great one. We're going to enjoy ourselves at M3, and we will see you guys. Take care. We love you. As always, you've been watching